In times of war, when fear ruled the land and many chose silence to save themselves, one young priest chose a different path. He had no weapon in his hands and no army behind him. All he had was his faith, his courage, and a heart that refused to abandon those entrusted to his care. He stood between the innocent and those who wished to harm them. He defended the weak, protected the vulnerable, and remained faithful to Christ even when it cost him everything. This is the inspiring story of Father Giovanni Fornasini, a shepherd who laid down his life for his flock and whose witness continues to shine as a light of Christian courage. Giovanni Fornasini was born on February 23, 1915, in the small village of Pianaccio, near Belvedere, in the province of Bologna, in Italy. His family was poor, but rich in honesty, hard work, and faith. Giovanni grew up alongside his older brother Luigi in a simple household where sacrifice was part of everyday life. The end of the First World War brought new challenges. Giovanni attended school, but academic success was not what defined him. Deep within his heart, God was preparing him for another path. At the age of 16, Giovanni responded to a call he could no longer ignore. He entered the minor seminary at Borgo Capane. When the seminary later closed, he continued his formation at the Pontifical Seminary in Bologna. Through years of prayer, study, and sacrifice, he prepared himself for the priesthood. Then, on June 28, 1942, while Europe was being torn apart by war, Giovanni Fornasini was ordained a priest of Jesus Christ. His first assignment was in the small parish of Sperticano, home to only a few hundred people. He devoted himself completely to the people entrusted to him, serving them not as strangers, but as members of his own family. During his first solemn high mass at St. Thomas Church on July 12, 1942, he revealed the spirit that would guide his ministry. He declared, "The Lord has chosen me to be an urchin among the urchins." Those words were not a slogan, they were a promise. Father Giovanni did not place himself above others, he walked beside them. He shared their struggles, their fears, and their hopes. He wanted to be known as a distant priest, but as a loving shepherd. As the war grew worse, so did the suffering around him. In July of 1943, the fall of Benito Mussolini brought a brief moment of hope. Church bells rang in celebration, yet the Nazi occupation that followed brought new dangers. The German authorities quickly noticed Father Giovanni. They knew he helped those who were persecuted. They knew he supported the resistance. They knew he often placed himself between innocent people and the cruelty of occupying forces. Again and again, he risked his own safety to save others, yet no threat could convince him to abandon his mission. Then came October 12, 1944. A German commander was celebrating his birthday in a school building in Sperticano. The atmosphere was filled with loud music, drinking, and immoral behavior. Among the soldiers and guests sat a young priest whose presence seemed completely out of place. It was Father Giovanni. He had not come to join the celebration. He had come to protect someone. Earlier that day, an SS officer had noticed a young woman taking shelter in the rectory along with other evacuees. The officer decided she would be forced to attend the gathering for the soldiers' entertainment. Father Giovanni understood exactly what danger she faced. He had rescued many people before, but now another life and another soul depended on his courage. Throughout the evening, he remained there, making it impossible for the soldiers to forget that a priest was watching. His silent presence became a powerful act of resistance. The tension in the room continued to grow. Finally, unwilling to create greater unrest among the local people, the commander ordered Father Giovanni to leave. The young woman left with him. She was safe, but the courage that saved her would soon cost him his life. The next morning, Father Giovanni placed holy oils and holy water into his bag. He set out toward a hillside where victims of Nazi executions had been left abandoned and unburied. Even in death, he believed they deserved dignity, prayers, and Christian burial rites. As he climbed the rocky path, he encountered the same SS officer from the night before. The officer recognized him immediately. Without mercy, he drew his weapon. Then he fired. Father Giovanni Fornasini was shot in the head and killed. He was only 29 years old. His earthly life ended on October 13th, 1944, but his witness did not end there. He died as a true shepherd, refusing to flee when danger approached. He died protecting the innocent. He died serving both the living and the dead. He died faithful to Christ until his final breath. The Church describes his sacrifice as an offering of life. Father Giovanni understood the risks of what he was doing. He knew that every act of courage brought him closer to death, yet he freely accepted that path out of love for God and for his neighbor. May we learn from his courage, may we imitate his charity, and may his heroic witness help us remain faithful to Christ, whatever crosses we may be called to carry. Blessed Giovanni Fornasini, prega per noi.